The National Electrical Code, specifically Article 310.15b3a, addresses the scenario of having conductors of different systems within the same raceway. This article permits such an arrangement, with a crucial condition that all conductors are insulated for the maximum voltage present in the raceway. This means that if you have both 480 volt and 120 volt conductors, all conductors must have insulation rated for at least 480 volts. Article 310.15b3 adds another layer of requirement when dealing with conductors from different systems. It specifies that these conductors must be grouped together based on their respective systems and then physically separated from conductors of other systems within the raceway. This separation is achieved through the use of a partition. The purpose of this partition is to provide a physical barrier between the different voltage systems, enhancing safety and preventing potential hazards. Article 310.15 Code further elaborates on the conditions under which conductors up to 480 volts can coexist with 120 volt conductors in the same raceway. It reinforces the requirement for a partition that meets the specifications outlined in Article 300.22c. Article 300.22c provides specific details regarding the partition. It mandates that the partition be constructed of materials and designed in such a way that it effectively prevents the transfer of heat or flame from one system to another. This is a critical safety measure to contain any potential fire or thermal event within one system and prevent it from spreading to the other. The partition must be a continuous length, spanning the entire raceway where the different voltage conductors are present. This ensures consistent separation and protection throughout the run. Furthermore, the partition must be securely fastened to the raceway to maintain its position and effectiveness. However, there is an exception to the partition requirement outlined in 310.15 Code. This exception allows conductors of different systems to be in the same raceway without a partition, provided that all conductors are properly insulated for the highest voltage present in the raceway. In this scenario, if the highest voltage is 480 volts, all conductors, including the 120 volt conductors, must have insulation rated for at least 480 volts. In cases where the partition is omitted based on the exception, it is essential that the conductors are clearly identified as to this system. This means marking or labeling the conductors in a way that makes it easy to distinguish between the 480 volt and 120 volt circuits. Proper identification is crucial for maintenance, troubleshooting, and future modifications to the electrical system. Therefore, the NEC does permit the installation of 480 volt and 120 volt conductors in the same conduit. However, this is contingent upon meeting the requirements specified in Article 310.15b3 and 310.15 Code, which cover insulation ratings, physical separation with a partition, and proper identification. Firstly, ensure that all conductors are insulated for the highest voltage present, which would be 480 volts in this instance. Secondly, if a partition is used, it must comply with the requirements of Article 300.22c, focusing on fire and heat resistance, continuous length, and secure fastening. Thirdly, if the partition is omitted due to all conductors being insulated for the highest voltage, then clearly identify the conductors according to their respective systems. Understanding and adhering to these NEC guidelines is essential for ensuring a safe and compliant electrical installation when running 480 volt and 120 volt conductors in the same conduit.